All right. So today is what is today? Tuesday, the 7th of February. And next week, I was going to just double check with Kylie. I meant to message her today, but we might ditch next Tuesday night if everyone's happy with that for Valentine's Day, so we can all go out or celebrate that together for those who have partners and husbands. And there's a few parties on the Gold Coast if you don't have husbands and partners that you can go to. It's called a non-Valentine's Day party on the campus. So if everyone's happy to do that, we might give next week a miss. Are you good with that, Kylie?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I won't be doing anything, but that's fine if everyone wants to.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever the majority is anyway.
Yeah, I'm not worried, that's fine.
Yeah, cool. Also, I just wanted to see a show of hands as to who's coming to our Aussie conference, because I want to try and work with Kylie and get a couple of things planned out for our team. So some of you girls have your cameras off, but it's looking like the majority of people will be coming to conference. I can see Trace madly waving a hand in the car there. So that's good. We're going to plan a few little exciting things for our team to all catch up and meet each other, because we see each other every week on Zoom. So it'll be really nice for us to hang out and have some drinks and stuff. And I know at the 90-day game plan, really fun when I finally got to meet Trace and a lot of the Brizzy team. That was really cool. I think we just discovered Boomerang and a few selfie stick and all of that stuff. So we were out on the grass on the golf course trying to do all this crazy stuff. So
Trace will still have a selfie stick next time you see you too.
Yeah, so that's good.
Oh, there it is. It's never too far away from us.
If you haven't already got your tickets, obviously the early birds close, but you can definitely still get them. I won't talk about conference because we all know that it's kind of a non-negotiable if you really want to make your business go to that next level, and it's a total tax deduction as well, which is awesome. Just a couple of things that I wanted to cover quickly before Jess jumps on tonight is the first thing, and I know I've been through it a couple of times, but it seems to be coming up a bit, especially lately. In the last couple of weeks, I've really noticed it, and that's people copying and pasting other teamies' posts and not changing them up at all. Like, we've gone over how we really need to change it up by at least 10 to 15%. Which isn't hard, it's deleting a couple of sentences that might not resonate with you or sound like you anyway, and just adding a few extra things into that. So I just want to let you girls know that it actually affects not only your post and how your post isn't going up to the top of the newsfeed for everyone of your Facebook friends and family to see, but it also starts affecting the person's post who actually could have spent, half an hour or so really trying to put a lot of thought into this post and creating that, and then that doesn't get to the top for their newsfeed with their friends and family either. So it's not only your business that you're really not helping yourself with, but it's also a bit detrimental to some of your teamies as well. So I'd really appreciate if everyone could. Obviously, we're definitely 110% to support all of you girls. I'm happy, and I'm sure everyone else in the team is happy for people to copy their posts, but maybe not on the same day. Like, maybe even save it into your notes or put it through one of the apps that you can, like Buffer or something, where you can schedule the post in and do it for the week after or something, because I know a lot of us have mutual friends. So say Kylie did a post and I see it and it's awesome and I see that all the time. I'm probably not going to post it within that hour or within that 10 minutes of seeing that post, because for that pure reason, it's going to affect her post, but it's also going to affect mine as well, and it won't get seen. So I just suggest save it into your notes and post it the following week. Change it up a little bit. And then post it the following week, so we're not just seeing, and your friends aren't seeing just this generated, it doesn't have enough impact if people are seeing the same post put out there by 1 or 2 or 3 people. So I'd really appreciate if everyone was just mindful of that, because I have had a few team reach out to me over this week just saying that as well. And so of course we're happy to share, but please save it for the following week and change it up a bit. Or obviously if it's to do with Zoom tonight or something, that's totally fine. Share away, like copy the pictures and let's keep it all the same and whatever, but just change it up a little bit so that it's sounding authentic and it's sounding like it's coming from you, but also it's not affecting other people's news feeds as well. And another thing that one of the girls asked me if I could just cover, some people are having a little bit of trouble on how to have those conversations with people when you're out and about at the shops and stuff. And I think if you really go in with the intention of not to spew juice plus all over them, but with the intention to build that relationship with them, and walk away adding a new friend to Facebook. And if you kind of get the whole business thing out of your mind, I know since I've kind of changed this approach, it's definitely taken the pressure off myself. I'm not feeling that I get really disheartened when I walk out of the shopping centre and I haven't had one single conversation with anyone about Juice Plus. It's more about building those relationships and adding someone to Facebook. If you can add a couple of people, new friends to Facebook each day when you're out and about, and that's just purely by conversation. Start building that relationship. Start having those conversations with people when you're at the registers, when you're waiting for your coffee, when you're looking, you know, for a new outfit, when you're getting your nails done, whatever it might be. Just ask those questions about life. You know, just have a genuine conversation. Be a friendly person, and then it just all flows along. And then you'll end up saying, "Hey, are you on Facebook? You know, I'd love to connect with you." And they're like, "Yeah, of course. What's your name?" "Okay, no worries." You've got your phone there usually anyway. Type in their name, let them select which one is theirs, because I haven't done that a couple of times. I'm like, "Yeah, cool, I remember your name," like Kylie Jones. I get back home, type in Kylie Jones, and there's like 15,000 Joneses. Mind you, that was Kylie's name before she got married. That's why I used it. And I've done that. I'm like, oh my God, I did not have a clue, especially if they don't have a profile picture with their actual face on there and they've got like a frigging cat or something. It's like, you need to find them. So yeah, show them your phone, go, "Okay, cool, which one's you?" And they have a look. "Yeah, that's me. Cool, I've added you as a friend." That would be awesome. Like, have an awesome day. Thank you so much for whatever they've done for you. Walk out. That's one extra person. And if you do that like 2 or 3 times a day, if you're not getting out and about to start creating those conversations, then just do it on Facebook when you see suggested friends. Obviously, don't add random people that you have no idea, but it always comes up that you've got mutual friends. Click on them, see what mutual friends they are, and then obviously if you feel like you could add them, then do it that way. So I hope that helps with kind of just having those conversations when you're out and about. But just don't go into it with the intention of bringing up Juice Plus. Obviously ask those questions. How long have you worked here? You know, do you love what you do? Blah, blah, blah. But that's it. And then obviously when you've added them as a friend and they've accepted, they're going to see what you're posting anyway. So that's you getting out to 1, 2, 3 extra people a day, and you just never know what could go from there. Also, just one more thing probably I've got time for before, there's Jess, is just quickly how to save and search for information. So when I know in our chat group we're getting a lot of people asking like, how do I find this? Does Juice Plus help with this, etc., etc. I find a really good way that works for me, and I know a lot of the other girls do this as well, is save things to your notes and put a heading up the top in your note that is going to be really easy for you to find and go back to when you need it. So like, for example, if it's the direct message that you're wanting to send out to people, just put at the top direct message. So when you're scrolling through your notes, you're going to see that heading direct message and you'll know that that's where it is. Or if it's to do with eczema or pregnancy or whatever that might be, it's super easy just to do it that way. And if you have your notes really organised, it'll be easy for you to go back and find that. And then the other way is just to do a search. So I think most of you probably know how to do searches in the pages. So for our Team Believe page and on the freestyle or Team Spirit as well, there's a search bar at the top. Then you can just type in whatever it might be. And usually a lot of things will come up that way. So, and then if you come across something, save it into your notes, and then you'll be able to access it easy next time. And the same with Zooms, like with links and recordings and things like that. You can copy and paste that link and paste it over into your notes section, so that if you want to send a recording to a specific person that covers, I don't know, children who have eczema, and there might be a really good product story on that, put that into your notes with the heading product story on eczema, so that that's a really good recording that you can send to a potential who might be interested in that. So hopefully that helps, and I've got a couple of other things to cover as well, but we'll just see how we go with time and stuff, because I know Jess has jumped on now. So thank you so much, Jess, for jumping on tonight. We really, really are very, very grateful. And congratulations. I'm not sure if everyone noticed today when Adam put up the top 20 earners in our Team Freestyle. Jess came in at number 6, so that was pretty awesome and exciting for her. So well done, girl.
Thank you.
So I suppose you can, if you want to just kind of, I don't know, maybe just share a bit around, what you've found has worked for you so far in the last, 10, 11 months of being
10 months.
10 months, yeah. So maybe if you could, share that, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Thanks for having me on, guys. I can see a few familiar faces. I really appreciate you asking me to come on, Tanika. It's quite the honour. Excuse me, quite the honour to be asked. It's always lovely, and I think that anyone who speaks on any event, really, we're just sharing our own story. None of us are experts. We all just kind of learn along the way. I took down a few notes of things, and I have shared this previously, but hopefully it's of value. I don't know who's on here and who's new and who's not, so hopefully it's of value. But I have learned a few things along the way, and I think especially for me, probably in the last couple of months, especially December, because it tends to be a really quiet month. It was a time when I really had to dig deep, and my customer base was not growing the way it was meant to, no matter how hard I worked, and just things weren't kind of happening the way they did at the start. And so I think when we go through those like lulls, it's a really good time to reflect and go, okay, well, what is it that I was doing at the start that I may not be doing now, or how can I change things up? One thing, and it might sound really silly, but one thing that I really had to look at myself, and this is only from my own learning, was really doing the work instead of thinking I was doing work. I kind of thought that if I posted and I kept posting, stuff should come. Like I really did at one point. I thought, well, I'm doing the posts and they're still not calling me, or they're not commenting. So I think when I kind of got out of my own comfort zone in respect to that, and realized that I have to go and talk to 2 people a day, for example. That was something that I challenged myself to do in December, and I did it because I was really quiet. I didn't have the customer base or the team showing interest because no one had money and all those things. So I said to myself, well, am I really doing work, or am I kind of being a cop-out? Because I suppose I wanted to earn. If I thought it was okay to earn that money from posts a day, well, probably not. I probably had to work a bit harder to get the money I really wanted and get that freedom. So yeah, I went to work on, pushing myself out of my social media comfort zone. And I'm probably quite similar to Kira. If you don't know, I did have a page. I definitely wasn't a MasterChef champion or anything like that, but I did have a social media page that I had been building for a few years prior to joining Juice Plus. So in some respects, I had a bit of a following, which I suppose helped in terms of people trusting me. But at the same time, it definitely didn't mean that I had customers like flocking at me by any means. They just kept enjoying all the value that I was giving them for free. So yeah, having to kind of get out of that social media comfort zone and decide I'm going to go out there and I'm going to speak to 2 people a day. And it was a great thing as a mum and as someone who was at home a lot to go, I have to go get the coffee or I have to go to the shop. And, you know, a lot of things that I found worked was just identifying with people, being caring and asking questions. And from that, I got about 3 people that are really strong and I feel that will definitely join the business. They haven't yet, but I'm in talks with them and I feel that it's something that will definitely come to fruition. 2 of those people are in commission-only jobs, so it's something they really need. And another one is a fitness freak from Lorna Jane. So you never know where you're going to find people. I suppose one of the other biggest things that I have learned in the last couple of months is around my team building and around the fact that, you know, you've got your width and then you've got your depth in your business. And as I started to grow, I started to realize that my depth was stopping. Like there was more levels down that I was not getting paid on. So as comfortable as I might have got for a minute there, I had those wake up calls around the fact that you should never stop building your width and you should never stop that initial excitement. But the other thing is that at the start, when I was very new in the business, I really didn't understand how the bonuses and the promotions really worked. And I didn't have the confidence in the fact that I could help my team reach DVF and SDVF like I do now. So, you know, 10 months in, I do calls and I make sure, it's not that I'm choosy with team, but I make sure they're ready, because I don't want them to come into the business really not ready and then not get to SDVF. I want everyone to get to SDVF. A couple of reasons. One, because I know it's going to give them satisfaction and I know it's going to help build their belief. So if they get that $800 or $1,000 in their account by getting to that point, I know they're going to go, oh, this is good. She told me it was good and it is actually good. It helps them share, it helps build their belief and it helps them get team. Second to that is that we all know the importance of qualifying, and that's the second step. I'm talking so fast, I'm getting puffed now. But yeah, I might be talking to the converted, because if you're all on here, you probably know it already. But I've found that the people that have done the best in my team are the ones that have had that really quick success. They may not get to SC as quickly or SSC, but they definitely get that first little excitement factor, and then getting that qualification or getting qualified every month has also, you know, helped them and also in turn helped me grow my business. So clubs is something that we all know we get paid on, and it's something that we need to build, and it's something that Brian has taught me a lot, is always focus on your clubs really early on in the month. We're actually at the moment looking at clubs because we don't want the scramble in a couple of weeks to try and get people over the line. But yeah, my greatest advice for someone starting out, other than, you know, what you hear from Adam and Kira all the time, which is being consistent, you know, watching training, having belief, all of that stuff, but is just really get to know how you can help people get to those first and second promotions, and have confidence around teaching them, explaining it, so they fully understand, you know, this is how many orders it takes to get to SDVF. This is how we can help start talking to people about joining the business, because I think if they do that, it builds you such a stronger team. And I'm sure we've all had those people that have just dropped off, you know, they say it's like 1 in 10 is a diamond or 1 in 5. And it is, like, it's really disappointing when you see people that you really want to help and they just don't make it, and then, you know, they drop off. So if you can get them to that point, I think it's going to do you really well. And then connecting with the diamonds as well. That's another thing. I think when you get to the point past kind of SC, just realizing that there are certain people you really need to connect with and stay in contact with in your team, not to doubt that that's a really important, I suppose, element to what I see as my success is that I'm just getting pop-ups there. I have had those 2, 3, 4 people that I've really poured myself into, and we all see diamonds coming out of different teams, and I'm sure Tanika, you're one of them, and it's that you've been poured into by your leader, and it carries on down the road. So I hope that's helpful. My last thing is just belief. Self-belief is a huge thing. And a lot of people really probably look at me and go, oh, she was already a PT, or she seems like this is easy. Trust me, it's not. The first time I launched, I had to have a glass of wine before I launched because I just couldn't. I was so panicked. I remember the first time I met Adam and Kira, and they told me about this Zoom thing they were doing, and I was like, I got in the car to Ryan and I said, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. I can do this business, but I'm not going on that Zoom thing. Like, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm gonna have to have my makeup done at night. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. And it really was like I had such little belief in the whole thing. I knew it sounded good, but I didn't believe in myself. I remember at the start, I kind of was like, yeah, I think I'll give it a go. But I still remember thinking, I'll never be able to get Ryan out of weddings. Like, my husband's a wedding photographer, and he does, like, this year alone, he's away 40 weekends of the year doing weddings in Sydney, because that's where we used to live. So I had big shoes to fill, and I just thought, as much as I want it, I'm probably never going to get there. I'm probably never going to be good enough to get him home or help, contribute. He always earned fairly good money, but definitely had no freedom, that was for sure. And in the back of my mind, it just came up, and even at 90-day game plan, I wrote on that bloody piece of board, if you were there, the board that you have to snap, I don't believe in myself. I can't do it. And I remember someone that I know reading that and going, really? I would have thought you were the most confident person in the world. And I'm like, no, it's just, I've had to grow this skill. And Kira talks about this all the time, but I think as women, we really do lack belief. And if you can grow that belief early on, and if you can really create your story and really put forward the vision and the passion that you have, it's often really hard at the start. And I was there too. When you haven't earned money yet and you're trying to tell someone how good this thing is, it's really hard. So use a different story. It doesn't need to be the Adam and Kira huge story. It can be the, Jess got to go from full-time 3 jobs to part-time 1 job in 6 months, or, got to replace the $1,000 a week she was earning in 6 months. That's a huge story to most women. And I know it really helps and inspire my team. I know it's impressive to earn a lot of money, and I'm sure we all want to get there, but a lot of money to a lot of people is the 500, the 1,000 a week. That's huge, and I always kind of bring myself back down to earth. I know we have unlimited potential, but just to create that income and not work 40 hours a week and not have to answer to somebody else is a dream for most people. So if you really understand how valuable, and it makes me get teary, I've cried twice today already, because I talk to people on the phone and I'm like, I just can't believe I've got that money coming into my account, and I feel like I'm not doing a lot. I'm enjoying my life. It's a joy to speak to you girls. And if you do that, is that not a blessing? Like, it's crazy. So build that belief and really do work around really believing. Even if you're not quite successful yet in your own mind, your success will come when you get that person that $1,000. I had a team member that has 2 very unwell children who will probably not live past the age of 25. And, she could barely afford the groceries. And in the first month, I got her about $800 to $1,000 in her account. She bought her first Lorna Jane pants. She bought her son a little iWatch. She got to pay for his glasses. That is beyond, anything we can do for ourselves. So if you believe that you're capable of doing that, then, you know, you're halfway there. I hope that helps you girls.
Yes, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Jess. It's just amazing listening to you and seeing how much you've grown. And I think it's so true as well that, like you said, you have to actually grow into that person. You don't believe it at first. And none of us come into this business, well, maybe apart from Adam, and says, I'm going to rock this, you know, like I'm going to beat all the records, I'm going to smash everything. It's all a lot of self-doubt and, you know, having that belief within yourself that you can actually do it. And I know some of my girls now are getting to that leadership role and they're doubting themselves. They're like, I don't know if I'm a leader, you know, I feel like I can't lead this team that I've created. And you just have to really step up and act as if, and that's what I keep thinking in my mind as well. Like, yeah, I want to get to NMD, but I have a lot of personal growth for myself as well before I can get to that. And it's not so much the title of NMD, it's that person that I'm actually going to start becoming to help me get towards that. And I suppose that's for everyone, no matter what level of the business that they're in right now, is you know, just breaking it right down into small achievable goals rather than looking for that big massive stretch goal, and getting to work on what you need to be able to get to that next step in your business, whether it be self-belief and self-confidence. Go to work on that, listen to podcasts, listen to, like I know Kira shares so well, especially way back, like I was listening to a recording that she did a year ago or something. Like, she's grown a lot now, but even a year ago, you know, she doubted herself so much, and she cries nearly every time she talks about how much she's earning because she felt like she wasn't worth it. And it's not about the money, it's about what the money can actually do for us. Like you were saying, like Ryan earns good money, but he doesn't have that freedom. And for you to be able to start creating that as well, to give him the opportunity, I suppose, not to have to go and do those 40 weekends away. He can choose which ones he wants to do, so that he can have more time freedom with you and Scarlett and stuff like that as well. Just a couple of quick little questions that I just wrote down. So we were just covering before you jumped on about, some of the girls were asking how to start creating those conversations when you're out and about in the shops and, you know, supermarkets and things like that. And I was kind of covering that you don't really need to go in with the intention to even mention Juice Plus. It's more just about building that relationship and having those kind of conversations. So how do you, is that kind of the way that you think as well, and how you share it with your team?
Yeah, look, I kind of approach things differently depending on where we are. One thing that you might all find funny, because my husband now is part of the business because he loves it so much. He actually says to people, I always thought photography was plan A, but Jess's business is plan A now. And I love that. So now he's joined. But when I'm in the shops with him, I'm like, don't come in here with me, because don't get in my business. I'm doing my thing. And he knows, like, if I'm purchasing something or whatever, to like move away, go away, so I don't have to have him standing around, which is always helpful if you are with a partner. Mm-hmm. But my daughter stands with me all the time and she's fine. Really depends on where I am and what I'm doing. But yeah, like, just showing genuine interest. How's your day? Have you been working here long? Do you like this job? I used to work in retail. You know, is this what you do? Is this the main thing you do? And it's also just about judging what they're doing. So I was at the shop the other week and someone was asking me about buying tickets to the prize home. I know for a fact that most of those people are commission only. So trust me, it's worth the $20 to go buy the ticket and ask them how they find this job. Geez, it must be hard, like having to keep trying to approach people all day. Do you find people are really rude in shopping centres?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this totally sucks, you know. And then you go, oh, is this what you do all day, every day? Or are you studying? Or I've got like 5 people now on the go from that, because it's a job that sucks. Like,
yeah.
So you kind of have to be smart with how you do things. One thing that Adam and Kira pushed me to do, because I started, you know, getting to that point where I was earning enough to have a bit of flexibility, they said, get a cleaner, girl. Like, stop, cleaning your own house. Now the cleaners are probably going to be on board soon because they're at my house going, what do you guys do every day?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always just about, I think, really assessing the situation before you go into it, not trying to be salesy, but think about a good question. And Linda always teaches that, be the master asker and be genuine, show interest, and think about, like, people love talking about themselves. People love connection. They love friendly people. Like, you think about how many rude people there are just in the shopping centre alone. You think about the cafe and you go back and say, that was such a good coffee. Thank you so much. If you go there the second time, it opens up that opportunity. And don't expect to be sending a day, sometimes a month. But if you're active every day, well, you've done 7 to 14 conversations that week. So if you get one a week to sign up, then you're on fire. Adam was just saying on, what was it? One of the calls, maybe it was last night's training, that these rock stars have signed up 4 people in a month. That's one a week. So if odds are, for you, then just do. At least talk to one a day and you'll probably be going to be on the way. And practice makes perfect. Don't worry if you stuff up. As long as you're friendly, they're not going to hate you. You might think you hate yourself and you might be like, oh, I stuffed that up so bad. But they won't, and it's just practice, and that's the way I always look at it, and I still don't do the right thing all the time. But the biggest and easiest thing to remember is when they say, what is it? Say, oh, have you got Facebook? I'll add you on there and I'll send you something. That's it.
Yeah.
And if they say no, then fine, but most people don't. So I hope that helps.
That's funny. I went to have coffee on Saturday at the Collective, which is this new little hub in Palm Beach. And one of the girls there, she was like in her mid-20s and she was actually on her break. And Dave asked her for a menu or something, not realising she was sitting having a coffee. And, she drags her chair up and she starts like chatting to us. And I'm like, no, you don't have to talk, you're on your break. Don't worry about answering all these questions about work. And anyway, we got chatting and the whole time in my head, I'm like, this girl would be amazing. Like, she's so friendly. She's giving up her 15-minute, break to sit and chat with us. And, towards the end, like, I asked her if she was on Facebook and stuff, and she's like, no, I deleted all social media. I'm really focused. She was talking about goals and she's saving for a house, and she would have been like, I think she said she was 23 or something. But then I'm like, oh crap, okay, like, she doesn't have Facebook. Shit, have you got an email? She's like, yeah. So I think sometimes, we do 99% of the time people are going to have Facebook, but there is that 1%, and she was one of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've still been able to send her links and stuff via Facebook, and she's a talker, so you don't necessarily have to have Facebook to it is a super easy way for most of us, but she's a talker. She can go out and chat to millions of people every day while she's at work and do the business.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we have in Brian's team, Alex and Ben in New Zealand, who they did not have Facebook at all exist in their life 10 months ago, and they've just hit QNMD. They just created one and went with it. So you don't need to start.
That's right. You can add lots of friends every day and then get the ball rolling that way, that's for sure. And just one other quick question. So with your new team, when you get them started, we're kind of trying to change our system a little bit now and simplify it, because we've found people were super excited to get started, and then we're like adding them to this and that and this chat group and, sending them all this information. And I think it kind of scares some of them off and they get a little bit too overwhelmed. So they take that step back. So what are the steps that you guys kind of follow with getting someone started?
We're in the process of simplifying as well. I know Adam and Kira did make a quicker getting started guide now. If you haven't seen it, I think it's in the files tab of their group, but it still is a lot of information. The main thing I do is I go through the start strong. So I go through with them. Normally myself or Ryan will do it, and it'll be a 10 to 15 minute Zoom where I say, well, like if I haven't done it previous, but you know, I get them to watch the Start Strong, and then I reiterate how we're going to help them get to those promotions. So that was what I was saying before about understanding and being able to teach about bonuses and promotions, especially if that's important to them, if they, you know, they're joining the business because they really want to see the money or the immediate, you know, result. But then I just say to them, GoPro, number one. If you've got spare time, listen to GoPro, watch Rise of the Entrepreneur. These are your spare time things. And then I'm like, just get into action. And I teach them how to do social media, and I teach them how to talk. I say, don't watch anything else. Don't go in the files tab. If you need something for the first at least 1 to 2 weeks, just ask me and I'll tag you in it when you need it. So if you've got someone that needs a price list or needs a link, you tell me when you found them and I'll find it for you. It creates a little bit more work on my side, but like you were saying before, Tanika, you know, if you've got everything saved in your notes and you're all over it, it's so easy. Most of the time it's the same thing, you know, but I really just encourage them. I teach them a lot about how to smooth their story and their excitement for the product and the program into their newsfeed, because I think that's probably people's biggest failing is overexcitement at the start, spewing stuff onto their Facebook and having no authenticity around it. So I ask them, like, did you just have the baby, or what's the reason you're doing it? And we just devise at least the first kind of week worth, which I kind of have in my group anyway, but things about, and we all been taught this, but it's just teaching them the importance of authenticity. So don't just start posting pictures of recipes. One of my things that I do a lot with my girls is suggest a question post. So something that's like encouraging people to respond. So it could be, who's been wanting to lose weight this year? I'm totally over feeling fat. Give me your tips and tricks. People love being experts and people love to tell you what to do. So even though you really don't want their advice because you've already found JBT and you've already found Juice Plus, it opens conversation and it reignites people back into your newsfeed. Or tried a couple of programs before. Has anyone had success with a weight loss program? And people will say, oh yeah, do Michelle Bridges or do this, or and then the day after or second day you can add to the comments, thanks ladies, think I've found what's going to be right for me. So that's a really good way to start engaging people back into your newsfeed, because people love being experts. It's like I do one or two every so often. Should I cut my hair, or which dress? And people interact more than that with that than my Juice Plus stuff, but it tells me they're seeing it. So yeah, just kind of teaching your new team just how to interact and post in a natural way, so that it's not, you don't get that, oh, what are you doing? Oh, here she goes on something else, or whatever it may be. Because I think that drags down belief. Whereas if you're really genuine about it, and not, I know we all need to be teachable and duplicate the system. So we need to post recipes and tips and all of that. But I find that I really encourage my girls just to take photos of their own dinners and the things that they got to buy from their business. And, you know, you don't have to write, oh, my business got me the Lorna Jane tights, but just like, yippee, I got a bonus and I got to get my first pair of these, or that stuff people love. Today I did a post on just what I live for is just be able to pick Scarlett up from school and play with beads in the afternoon. And I got so many likes on that because it's authentic. So you just have to teach your team how to create a really nice mix. And hopefully that, that helps them for the first couple of weeks. And then, like I said, once they start getting the responses, then I plug them in. And I just reiterate, ignorance on fire. You don't need to know everything. I still don't. I'm still hopeless with heaps of things, and that's fine. We're here to be, be taught. And I say to them, the first at least 30 days, I'm here to hold your hand, and I'm here to exactly help you every minute that you need. And if they're in action, I'm going to help them, right? If I can get them to SDVF, then we can both earn $400, plus we can get them qualified the following month. Well, I'll hold their hand and I'll reply to their messages.
Yeah.
And let's be real, if we're adding a new team member to a month, it's not really that much hard work.
Yeah.
It's like 5 or 6, you know, duplicatable little things that we just have to point them in, and then they normally figure it out.
Mm.
So I hope that helps.
Once you've got the system in place, it's just doing it over and over again, really, isn't it?
That's
like
right.
I know.
Showing them that it was easy enough for them, and giving them that power to do it for themselves, for their team.
Yeah, exactly. Does anyone have any other little quick questions before we finish training tonight for Jess? I think the girls got a lot out of that tonight, Jess. It's just so nice hearing, you know, other people's stories and the way that they kind of run their business. And Tracer saying that was so good.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I appreciate you having me on. It's awesome to see you all connecting, and it inspires me to get all my girls together. It's awesome. And like I say, thank you so much for asking me on.
Pleasure.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Thanks, girls. Night.
See you guys.
Bye.